Going live. All right, it says I am live. Let's see if my contraption setup here works. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna pull up the feed on my iPad here as well, because last time we tried this from the phone with the scheduled thing, we had a little bit of an issue with me not seeing any comments. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that up. There we go. Oh, good. I can't see comments on there either. That's very helpful, YouTube. Anyway, guys, we'll go ahead and we'll get started here. So welcome guys. It is Saturday once again at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Time for me to hang out with you guys live. And we're in a little bit different location. It seems like every week I'm in kind of a different location doing these shows. But this week we are in my backyard and we are smoking a turkey, because I know it's not Thanksgiving yet, but we do have our friends are getting together tonight, this evening, and having our annual Friendsgiving. So that's what I am smoking the turkey for. I did it last year, and I've pretty much been tasked with doing the turkey basically until I'm dead. So got a big 16-pound bird on there, but of course I'm gonna be talking a lot about the turkey and all that kind of stuff, but the real reason we're here is because this is a filmmaking channel, right? So we're gonna talk filmmaking. So I want to do some Q&A with you guys. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to pop them in the chat. I should be able to pop them up on my screen. I'm really hoping this thing isn't all messed up again. So guys, please go ahead and do comment in there. They should pop up on my phone screen. What happened was YouTube changed the way that they let you stream from the phone. So you didn't used to be able to schedule live shows on the phone. You just had to click and go live. But I like scheduling them because I can put the thumbnail, I can put descriptions, I can let people know in advance that the show is going to be happening. But unfortunately, last time I did that, the comments didn't show up. So I thought I could be slick and get the comments on the YouTube app in my iPad that I have connected here, but I'm not seeing anything for live chat on that, so that is disappointing. So guys, if you are commenting and I'm not seeing it, I'm really sorry. I don't know what is going on with YouTube here, or maybe nobody is commenting and hanging out. But I'm going to be hanging out with you guys today. Ask me any questions that you guys might have. Like I said, I'm out here for a while. We've had the turkey on for about an hour and a half, not 2 hours quite yet. So we just hit about an hour and a half. The turkey is there on my smoker, and yeah, we put it on at 11:30. Like I said, I brined it. When did I do that? I put it in a brine that I made on Friday, let it soak for 24 hours, took it out this morning, rubbed it with a rub that I made, injected it with an injection that I made, and popped that sucker on there at 11:30, and we're cooking. So as you can see, I have an offset firebox type smoker here. So I've got all my coals and my wood. We're doing mesquite wood, so I've got my spare woods and stuff over here, and yeah. And the bird is smoking, and I just did a switch of the coals, so I'm letting it sort of temperature settle. I've got all these probes in it because of course I have to be high tech, so I've got all these probes in it, and on my iPad here it's actually connected via Bluetooth. If you look over there, there's a little device there called the iGrill, and so I can monitor all of my probes, my grill temperature and all that, and so we're hovering right about around 300 degrees, and it should take 3 or 4 hours. 16-pound bird on there. So let's see, we have, if comments are coming in, I'm just not seeing them, guys, so I do apologize for that. I thought I had that figured out by being smart and pulling the feed up here on the YouTube app on another device, but it's just not doing it. I'm really sorry about that. So let's see here, none, hide all chat message, and then click show chat. So I might be having the issue again, or it might be that nobody's chatting, but that's okay. So I am going to be here, I'm going to be hanging out, so if you guys have any questions, whether it be about barbecuing, whether it be about filmmaking, or whether it be about anything, feel free to ask. I'm here to hang out with you guys. Like I said, I've still got a few hours to go on this. I'm not going to stream the whole thing, but I am going to hang out for a while with you guys and talk. So let's see, filmmaking stuff. What's new in the world of filmmaking these days? I guess the big thing was the newest camera releases. Obviously, we had the A7R III from Sony, and we also had the Panasonic G9, which was just announced, so I can chat about those a little bit. And new news for me is I caved and ordered the iPhone 10, not the iPhone X. It's Roman numeral 10. So I did order it. I wasn't really impressed with it when I saw all the features and stuff. It felt a little like unfinished, unpolished to me, like they were just slapping new tech into this thing. But basically what happened was I got an amazing deal where pretty much all I had to do was pay just the tax up front, and I get the phone. So I've done that. I won't get it until next month, but I'll let you guys know what I think of that phone when I do get it, specifically for filmmaking purposes. You know, I do use the phone a lot in my filmmaking. I have a lot of apps that I use on the phone to assist me. I've never shot anything exclusively on the phone, but I do have Filmic Pro, so maybe I'll try that on the new iPhone 10 and see if I can put something quality together. So yeah, that's new. So the Panasonic G9 is obviously new. It seems like it's really geared towards stills photographers. Ooh, my temperature is spiking, guys. Bear with me one sec. I gotta go reduce my airflow a little bit. Let's see here. Still says showing chat, but if anything's coming through, guys, I am just not seeing it. Man, I really hate that. Gives me such anxiety. Anyway, my temperature. Oh wait, no, she's going back down. Some of those coals that I just added in there are probably starting to catch. Oh, thank you, Mark. All right. Not only are you the first one to comment, but you have given me such peace knowing that the comments will show up. So it's not that I can't see the comments. It's just that nobody is commenting yet. Thank you. I appreciate you joining me and hanging out for a little while. Let's see. I don't know who are you, but I'm ready to watch. I appreciate that. So, all right, I'll tell you a little bit about who I am. I'm glad you found me. But I'm a cinematographer and YouTuber and producer and sort of jack of all trades, but primarily cinematographer, based in the Washington, D.C. area. I live in Northern Virginia right now. That's where I grew up. But I also do YouTube. So I started doing YouTube a few years ago, just starting to share information. And I started off by sharing information that I was personally looking for myself. And by sharing that, I figured there's probably other people who want this information as well. And so that's how I started my YouTube channel. And now it's sort of grown. I actually just passed 9,000 subscribers the other day. So everybody who is subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I know I'm still, you know, not huge. There's channels out there with the millions. Ooh, we got some wind picking up here. But, you know, I'm going to keep pushing on, keep putting out the content that I think you guys want to see. And who knows, we'll see where it grows and where it goes. But I do gear reviews and all sorts of other stuff. So if you just found me for the first time, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, guys, because I do these live shows every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. They're not usually me cooking a turkey in my backyard, but you know, we do all sorts of cool stuff. We learn cool things. And if there's anything you guys want to see on the channel, let me know. Send me a message. I'm open to you guys contacting me directly. I'll give you my email address. It's bart@bartjohnsonproductions.com. Send me a message. I'm really social and really into that. So if you just found this channel, like I said, make sure to subscribe and get in contact with me. And who knows, maybe someday we'll cross paths in person. I go to NAB every year and do content there and all that. So very cool stuff. All right, so it looks like the temperature on my bird is settling in pretty good. Like I said, guys, even though I'm going old school, cooking on coals and wood, I'm still a tech guy. I'm addicted to it. So I have my iPad here. Here, I can actually, I guess, show you guys. Here, let me unplug it from the battery. But I have my iPad here, and I have all my temperatures. So, oh, we're getting a little hot on that, so I'll turn it down a little bit. But I have my grill temperature in there, and then I have probes in both the white and the dark meat of the turkey, and so I can monitor that right here. It's pretty cool. It's Bluetooth, so I can go into the house, wander around, and do all that kind of stuff, and still keep an eye on it, which is pretty awesome. So I like tech stuff. So Weber, who owns iGrill, if you somehow come across this feed and feel like sending some more cooking gadget stuff my way, I'm just saying I could start a separate YouTube channel all about that. Because in addition to filmmaking is my primary passion, always has been. But guys, I love cooking. I barbecue on this thing all the time, make all my friends jealous when I'm posting all these photos to Facebook of things that I'm cooking, you know, ribs, pork butts, lamb chops, all sorts of things. And I just love cooking. It's fun, it relaxes me, and in the high stress kind of world of filmmaking and trying to be a professional YouTuber and all that kind of stuff, this is a few hours where I just get to chill, and I like that. So bear with me one sec, guys. I'm gonna pop over to the firebox, and I'm gonna decrease the airflow real quick, and actually, yeah, I'm gonna go turn down my temp a little bit. Hang on, guys. There we go. Should be good. So what do we got here? Whoop. At which age did I first start to get into filmmaking? Okay, so that's a good question. So I really started doing it in like middle school. So how old are you in middle school? Like 13? And so I started doing that, and I had the family, you know, VHS-C camcorder, and was shooting stuff with my friends and just goofy little videos. And then when I got into high school, it started being a hey, Mark Espiritu, yes, I forgot to mention that, my sweet Han Solo apron, yes. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So when I got into high school, I started doing video for like basically every project that my classes would let me do. And I also took a television studio course in high school as well. And I knew this was what I wanted to do. So college, to my parents' dismay, I started looking exclusively at art schools and film schools. And I ended up going to Savannah College of Art and Design down in Savannah, Georgia, into their film program, which was freaking awesome. I loved it. Yeah, got out of there, and admittedly fell back into some jobs of like pizza delivery and stuff like that. So it took a few years, but then I eventually was like, you know what, I gotta get back into what I went to school for. So I started up my company, Bart Johnson Productions. I, you know, subsequently then a few years later started doing the YouTube stuff. Now I work full-time, not only as Bart Johnson Productions, where I have my own clients, but I also work full-time for a production company that's based in London, and I get to travel around a lot shooting stuff for them, which is awesome. So pretty much every facet of my life is filmmaking. So, you know, my company, filmmaking, the company I work for, filmmaking, my hobby of the YouTube channel, filmmaking. So yeah, it's pretty much my life, and I absolutely love it. I'm 32 now, so let's call it around 20 years that I've been messing around with cameras and filmmaking and all that kind of stuff. So but real quick, guys, I know I put it all the way over there, and I got this beautiful setup here that I got with my phone and my iPad and all that, but I want to show you guys the turkey and the bird there. Sorry, I really overdid this, and I got like batteries and all sorts of stuff charging it. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick peek, and then we're gonna come over here. Man, that wind is picking up. The weather's actually pretty nice today. You know, I'm in a t-shirt. It's in like the 60s or so, but that wind is just ridiculous. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and switch this camera around here, give you a quick peek. Okay, so here's my smoker. Here's that iGrill I was telling you about. So here's the firebox. We'll take a quick peek in there. I got my coals and my wood going. Don't want to let too much heat out. We don't have a whole lot of smoke rolling off of it right now, which is okay. I had some pretty good smoke going on it earlier for a good while, and eventually I'll toss some more wood on there and pick it up. But you don't want to hit it with too much thick billowy smoke, right, you know, for too long, because then it gets really dark, and at some point it just stops taking smoke flavor. But let's take a peek at what she looks like, guys. Now Mark, if you're still in here, you get to eat this later, so let's take a peek at her. Boom. All right, that's enough. I don't want to let all that heat out, so checking my temp there. But so yeah, she's in there. I've got it going. We've been doing it since 11:30. It's looking good, and you know, I made all the ingredients and all the stuff, the brine and injection and all that. So Mark's asking, what is my biggest goal in life? That's a pretty loaded question there, but I'll try and answer it. So I've got a bunch of goals. I sort of, instead of having one final like objective, I guess, I really think that I set smaller goals that sort of stepping stone me through. So initially my goal was to work for myself. So I started my own company, got that going. Another goal of mine is to really have a big, successful YouTube channel. And I've been working on that for a few years, and we just passed 9,000. So we're getting there. That's awesome. Another one of my goals was to really just have my entire life be filmmaking. And I've managed to do that. You know, all of my jobs incorporate filmmaking now, and that's awesome. Big goal right now is to buy a house. You know, we rent this townhome. It's really close to Washington, D.C., so it costs so much for what it actually is. But we are currently, my wife and I, shopping for houses. So we're looking to move to Maryland. We've been shopping for a couple months. Nothing has come up that's just about perfect for us. But, you know, we are hunting actively, and I can't wait to have my own house, and then subsequently thereafter probably start a family. You know, we want to have kids, but we want to have space for them. We want them to be happy. We want to have a home. But I guess if I had to say like an ultimate goal, I really would at some point like to have this channel be awesomely successful, and I would also like to not have to work for another company. I would like to invest a little bit more energy at some point into my company, Bart Johnson Productions, and have it just run perfectly. You know, have it be a big company with employees and all sorts of stuff. Right now it's just me, and I subcontract out to people if I need, you know, crew members for jobs, and it works great for what I'm doing. But someday I'd like, you know, like to have my sign and my logo on the side of a building or something like that. I think that would be really, really cool. So all these things are sort of stepping stones, I think, to kind of get me there. So let's see here. I saw something else come in. Trevor is in here. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Isn't this your T-Day bird? No, this is not my my Thanksgiving bird. Don't worry, I didn't mix up when Thanksgiving is. I know it's on Thursday, but I am going to be visiting my parents. They moved to Milwaukee. But so we'll be in Milwaukee for Thanksgiving. But every year our friends do a Friendsgiving. Where we all get together because, you know, we spend the actual holiday with all of our families, and so we're having that dinner this evening, and that's what I'm cooking the bird for right now. So let's see, I saw here, why don't you go to Northern Virginia? I am in Northern Virginia. I'm in Falls Church in Northern Virginia. I'm literally like 5 miles outside of DC. I actually was born and grew up in the county directly next to this, Arlington County. Most people know it because Arlington Cemetery and the Pentagon and all that stuff, but I'm from this area. My wife is from up in Maryland originally. We actually met in Savannah at Savannah College of Art and Design. She does interior design and I do film. So it's pretty cool. So we ended up, sorry, I'm plugging some stuff back in. You know, it ended up that back at home, we only lived like 40 minutes away from each other. So we met in college and now we're married. All right, guys, I'm gonna boost my temp on my grill real quick. So if you have any other questions or comments, make sure to pop them in. I'll be back in just 1 sec. I'm gonna throw some more wood on there and get a little bit of smoke rolling and get some temperature there. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we've got. I saw Trevor had something else there. You thought I was in DC. You grew up in Virginia. Real estate prices aren't bad at all. Yeah, they're not bad. So yeah, I'm not in DC itself. And nice real estate there is astronomically expensive. The people that are moving to the district have some really high paying jobs. And so no, I can't. Good Lord. Sounds like I live in DC. It's ridiculous here. But yeah, so I'm in Northern Virginia, but the thing is we're inside the Beltway, so we're really close. In this area of Northern Virginia, we like it. We like it a lot, but it's super expensive. So what we're looking to do, hey, my wife just popped in and blew me a kiss. Hey baby, I'm just talking about us moving and how you have managed to convince me to move to Maryland. So we're looking at houses in Maryland. There's just a lot more house for the money. We have 2 Siberian Huskies, so you know we gotta get a yard. I need a big basement because I want to build a studio and stuff like that. And my wife works at a design firm in Maryland, so Maryland is the way it's looking, and that's where we've been looking right now. So let's see here. What do we got? Mark says, you have good intentions and you seem to be a hardworking guy. You will reach your goals, Bart. Thanks, much success. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad that you found me here too. And hopefully I can continue to provide entertaining content for you. I do work hard. It's something that I've always been instilled with. I've always had a job since when I was 16. You know, right when I was old enough to have a job, I had one. I was lucky enough that my family instilled me with a good work ethic. And I know that nothing is sort of handed to you, and so I just push. My wife would say sometimes I'm pushing myself too hard in too many different, you know, ways and directions, doing multiple jobs in the YouTube channel and all sorts of other stuff. But you know, if I'm gonna get to where I want to be, I got to keep doing it, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And so I'm gonna keep working, I'm gonna keep pushing, and you know, good things will come. Good things have come. You know, compared to where I was a few years ago, not saying that was bad, but compared to where I am now, you know, it's like I said, those small little goals, I've been checking them off one by one, and I'm really happy about it. So I really appreciate you saying that as well, and wishing me success. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we got. Have I ever been to LA and LV? Are you talking about Los Angeles and Las Vegas? What are my thoughts? I have. I've been to both of them, if those are the ones you're talking about. Los Angeles, not for me. It's, you know, a lot of my friends from film school, from SCAD, did go to LA. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. You know, some of them are still there, but really not in the roles that they wanted to be. I just never wanted to be real big Hollywood. And granted, it's a great area to be surrounded by fellow filmmakers and, you know, everybody in the craft, but I almost feel like it's just everybody stepping on each other. And one thing that really bothered me about LA is just everything and everybody seems so vain and fake. I just don't think that's the type of environment that I'd be happy in. It would drive me nuts. I mean, like, reality TV shows and stuff drive me insane, and that whole city is like a freaking reality TV show. So not for me. Las Vegas, I have been to. I go every year in April for the NAB show there, and I do coverage on my channel from it. I like Las Vegas. I mean, what's not to like, except for the fact that it's really expensive and it's really easy to get distracted and party and have a good time. When I usually go, I'm working. I mean, it's for myself and for the channel. I'm not getting paid or anything like that, but I'm working, meaning I go for that show. I'm there, I'm shooting, I do all that stuff, and we do go and hang out usually like 1 or 2 nights. I'm usually there like 5 nights. And 5 nights in Las Vegas, most people are like, oh God, how do you survive? Well, I only really go out for like 2, because at that point my bank account is usually hurting. And so yeah, but as for like a place to live, I don't think I could do it in Las Vegas. There's too much distraction. It's like another planet. After I spend 5 days in Las Vegas, you feel like you have no responsibilities or obligations to anything or anyone, and that's a bad mindset to have. And so I have to like get myself back into like reality mode. Like, no, you have responsibilities. This crazy life is not real life. And so I know that's not I know people live in Vegas, and you know, it's not all the strip and party, but I don't think I would live there. Sorry. And it's just in a hole in the middle of the desert when you get down to it. I love the desert, don't get me wrong. I love like Sedona, Arizona and the Phoenix area and stuff like that. But Vegas, it's like there's Vegas and then there's what? So Let's see what we got. It's probably lobbyists driving up prices. I'm being serious too. Yeah, lobbyists. Like I said, you're talking about the prices in DC. Yeah, the people that are moving to DC, whether they be government employees, whether they be lobbyists, whether they be whatever. Sorry, I just like flicked you guys off. I didn't mean to do that. My bad. But they make a lot of money, and the real estate in that area definitely reflects it. I'm gonna go adjust my airflow again and bring my temps up. Hang on one sec, guys. Oh, even with the sunglasses, I got smoke in my eyes. Whew, that happens. Okay. So, let's see here. Have I ever been to Europe? I have. So like I said, the company that I work for full-time is a production company based in London. I work out of their DC office. But last December, actually, we had a big company meeting, and previously they had brought some of the production team from over there over here, and so we basically just got to hang out in like middle Virginia, which was awesome for them, but not so much for us. But we got to go to London last year. So we went to London in December. That was cool. My wife came with me, brought her along. So we got married last August, but we're both such busy people, we never took a real honeymoon. So what we did was, after my work stuff was done in London, we stayed a few extra days, and then we also tacked on, we hopped over to Rome, and we spent 5 days in Rome and made that sort of our late honeymoon. So yes, I have been to Europe. There's a lot of other places in Europe that I do want to go and check out. I would love to go to Amsterdam, to go to like the IBC show and check that out. Germany, I think, would be a big one for me. Belgium, mainly because I like beer. Oh, and I haven't even been touching it here, but of course I'm having a beer while I barbecue, guys. But yeah, I think that'd be cool to go to others. We definitely want to go. I really want to go to like the South Pacific though. And I also want to go to like Hong Kong and Shanghai and stuff like that. I don't know, I just think it would be cool to see how I would be able to function in a society that I completely don't understand, and I really have no way of communicating. You know, I don't speak that language or anything like that. You know, I don't speak Mandarin or, you know, Chinese, Japanese, any of that. So I think it'd be cool. It'd be interesting. I've also been to South America. I've been to Rio in Brazil. That was pretty cool. I do speak a little bit of Spanish, so I was able to sort of piece together the Portuguese that they speak down there, which was pretty cool. Oh, and my wife just commented that we also want to go to Iceland. Iceland is gorgeous. It seems like a cinematographer's dreamland. I want to go there. And also Norway. We want to go to Norway too. I don't know if you guys follow Andy Axe on YouTube at all. Awesome guy, Norwegian filmmaker, has been making amazing stuff forever. His stuff is such high quality, but he actually put out a review video using the new Aperture 300D LED light, and he made a short horror film using just that one light, and it was really cool. But he actually contacted me and included me in a little segment in the video, because I did some in-depth testing of that light, and I have a video about that too, and I'll put a card up so you guys can check that out. But he asked me if it was cool to send people to my video and to use some clips from it to do the in-depth explanation stuff, and I of course was like, yeah, you know. You know, I don't get starstruck when I meet like celebrities in person and stuff like that. I'm like, cool. I think I get more starstruck when I get messaged by other YouTubers that I follow, which is pretty cool. That's just the world that I live in. These are the people that I look up to and the people that I respect and I want to meet. So, let's see what we got here. Trevor, just an idea, but how about some tips on the best outerwear to get as a filmmaker? I want to do more outside shooting, and I'm finding my clothes are just all wrong. I've got like normal clothes. That's a good one, actually. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. But that would be cool, because I remember I actually have this like sling pouch from back in the day when I got started, and it's like a Key Grips sling pouch, and it's a bag where Key Grip keeps all of their stuff, so it's just on you. A lot of times I get made fun of because I'm a 32-year-old guy and I wear cargo shorts. Well, guess what? I am a function over form guy. 100%. If it works, I don't care what it looks like. And when I'm running around, yeah, I've got cargo shorts. I got one packet or pocket that's completely jam-packed full of camera batteries. Where do you want me to put those? You know, I got lens pens and cloths and all sorts of stuff in another pocket. I've got my phone in a pocket. You know, I've got all this stuff going. Cargo pants, man. Deal with it. They're like, oh, you dress like you're in high school. Yeah, well, guess what? It works. But doing a dedicated video for ways to dress for different types of shooting, and how to carry the most stuff sort of on your person, that's a good one, especially for run and gun stuff. So I'll look into that. Thank you very much, Trevor. I appreciate that. Let's see here. 300 degrees still holding. Awesome. So my turkey is still going. Where are we at? It has been on there for 2 hours. I'm expecting it to take about 3 to 4 hours. And we're looking good. I've been cooking it at about 300 degrees, which will get that 16-pound bird done, and also should hopefully give it a nice crispy skin on the outside. Not rubbery. You don't want that. You want crispy. And right now it looks like my dark meat is at 115 degrees, and my white meat is at 117 degrees. So they've been climbing together, which is good. And yeah, we're looking good there. We want to get them to 165, and then I take it out and I let it rest. I have a cooler over here that I'm going to set it in because I got to transport this thing about an hour to Maryland, so that'll be good for it to rest in that cooler. Ooh, speaking of cooler, some clouds rolled in here, man. And it's actually getting a little nippy out here. And the wind and stuff is actually sucking some of the heat off of the smoker. So I'm going to go open up my airflow and see if I can get that back up a little bit. It literally just dropped a good bit. Alright, I'm back. So like I said, guys, I do this cooking sort of the old school way. There are electric smokers and pellet smokers and all sorts of stuff, but I like hanging out, drinking a beer, and really just seeing what I can do to manage a fire. It's kind of the fun of it is, you know, I don't want to smoke stuff where you just set it and forget it. Like, I want to say I smoked it. Like, I'm sitting here managing the fire and the airflow and all that kind of stuff. So I'm talking too much. I need to drink my beer. Drinking that probably just got me flagged for demonetization on YouTube now. Joy. All right, let's see here. My wife, yes, she's excited for the turkey. I'm assuming you will be home soon, actually, baby. But let's see. Trevor, I wanted to do a photographic tour of Iceland, but lately everyone seems to be going there. I'm thinking of picking a more unusual place now. Maybe some place in Asia. Yeah, see, I've had a lot of friends who have gone to Iceland as well. And Iceland is great and it is awesome, but it is something that it seems like everybody goes there. And so you see all these videos of like the nice open landscape and all that kind of stuff. But the truth is, a lot of these locations are full of tourists and full of other filmmakers. Peter McKinnon, his YouTube channel is amazing. If you haven't seen it, by the way, go subscribe to that guy. He's amazing. But he just went to Iceland and did a thing, and he was talking in one of his vlogs about how they had to go like at the crack of dawn to some of these locations, like the famous abandoned or crashed airplane that's out there from like World War II, because at any reasonable time of day, it's just completely covered with tourists, you know, because everybody goes there. And another thing I heard about Iceland is starting to ban a lot of stuff like drones, because people are, you know, there's so many people flying around and they're doing damage to this really, really delicate ecosystem there. People are leaving hiking trails to go find great spots to get shots, and they don't realize that some of the stuff that they're walking on and stepping on, you know, it could take like 1,000 years to repair. And people are just absolutely butchering and hurting Iceland, and I've seen a lot of articles about it, and they're just freaking fed up with it. I've heard that, you know, a lot of people who live in Iceland really aren't a fan of tourists anymore because they just treat the place like it's like Disneyland or something, like the entire country is just a tourist destination, not like it's a, you know, a delicate ecosystem or a place where people actually live. So that sucks. But yeah, if you do find any other cool spots, let me know, and then maybe you and I can be the only ones that are there and the only ones that know about it. Haha. People are incredibly environmentally insensitive. Yeah, for real. I mean, the planet wasn't put here and made just for you. So you got to take care of it. You got to just use some common sense and stuff like that. You know, it sucks that people are that ignorant and do it. And you know, they're like, oh, but I wanted to climb up on that rock and get a shot. Well, congratulations, you destroyed a historic spot by climbing over everything and stepping on everything. It sucks. All right, looks like I let my temp get a little high there. Coals are starting to pick up. I'm gonna go ahead and close that down. I'll be right back, guys. There we go. Saw another comment pop up before I left. It's my wife. Now she says Sweden and Denmark. How many places are we gonna go, baby? That's crazy. I already have two full-time jobs. Am I gonna need to get another one? Like, how are we gonna afford to go to all these places? If anybody wants to sponsor us to go and hang out and shoot in these places, or if anybody lives in these places and wants to invite us out, that'd be awesome. But you know, we're gonna have to take it a little bit at a time here. We got a long list of where we want to go. It's getting cloudy. I almost don't need the. Yeah, I still need them. All right, temperature's coming back to hovering about 300, which is where I want it. So let's see here. Trevor, so if you're traveling, what camera would you end up taking? The Ursa Mini might be a hassle, but the EVA1, C200. So I have an Ursa Mini 4.6 and I absolutely love it, but yes, it is a tank to travel with. So when I take it on, or when I go on sort of like enjoyment trips, you know, I'm not going for a job, I don't take it. It's too much. It's huge. It's a cinema camera. It takes giant batteries. It takes giant lenses, all that stuff. So I don't actually take it. If I'm going for a specific job, like I have one that I might be doing in Texas next year, yeah, I'll take it because that's part of the job. But I haven't used the EVA1 yet, but I know it's got a very small form factor and that people are really excited about the quality they're getting out of it. And it doesn't look like it needs a whole bunch of support and accessories to make it work. You know, slap a lens and a little battery on it and you should be good. C200, I've never used it, so I can't really say if I would take that. But the one camera that I take with me when I go everywhere is the GH5. So I bought the GH5 because I wanted a YouTube 4K camera. So I was looking at a bunch of the Sonys, I was looking at the A7S II and stuff like that, then the A6500 came out, and they had like 75% of what I wanted. You know, I wanted to be able to film myself, so I needed a screen that flipped around, and I wanted all these specific things, and they weren't quite there, and I was about ready to pull the trigger on the Sony, and then the GH5 came out, and it had everything that I wanted. And so I got it, and I wanted it as a YouTube camera. You know, I was tired of setting up my huge Ursa Mini to shoot YouTube videos. So I got it, and I started shooting with it, and then I got the vlog for it. And then I decided to take it to shoot a few projects in Texas, and I shot these amazing cinematic looking projects with it. And it just blew me away what I could do. The lenses are smaller, the camera body's smaller, the gimbal that I could put it on, I have the Zhiyun Crane version 2, and just everything was a smaller form factor. It was a lot less to travel with. And so the GH5, I would say, is my #1 travel camera and the one that I would take with me. The fact that I have the XLR module that goes on top, so the fact that you can get pro audio into it is a huge deal. I shot all of my NAB 2017 content back in April on the GH5 because I'm a one-man band. I'm all by myself. So I had the screen that I could flip out to the side. I could see myself. I had the XLR unit on top, so I could run 2 wireless mics, one for me, one for the person I was interviewing. And then I had the app on my phone where once we were in position, I could look at it and I could tap, focus, tap to record, boom. It was awesome. So that's the best solution right now. You know, the EVA1, I'd be interested in playing with it. I don't think I'd be interested in purchasing it. And the reason that I say that is it covers a set of, it's in a niche that I already have covered in my current camera lineup. You know, the Ursa Mini does everything that I need and more than the EVA1. So I don't see myself needing a camera that slots into that spot where the EVA1 is. Same with the C200. Everybody's really kind of confused about that C200 because somebody had a great saying for it, but they were saying like how absolutely bipolar it is. And what they meant by that is it has the super high intense RAW option, and then it has the not even broadcast quality option, and then there's nothing in between. So it's like it's got bipolar codecs, which is really interesting. And everybody was hoping that Canon was going to introduce something a little bit better, you know, in the middle. I mean, give it 50 megabits for Christ's sake. Make it broadcast. Like, it's not broadcast acceptable unless you're shooting in RAW, and that's ridiculously overkill. So that camera confuses me, and I know it confuses a lot of other people too. Let's see what we got. Trevor, you really want that Ursa 4.6K. You know, I was one of the people that pre-ordered it, waited a year for it. It showed up. I started shooting with it. Everybody online wanted to pick it apart. Oh, magenta this. Oh, the cards cost so much. Oh, the batteries cost so much. I already had V-mount batteries. I didn't mind dropping some money on cards because even with the cards, it was so much cheaper than the nearest camera that could shoot RAW like that. And I haven't looked back. I love that camera to death, the 4.6K. Netflix recently released a list of cameras that are approved to shoot Netflix content on there, and it's like Alexas and Reds and like Sony F55s and stuff like that that cost tens of thousands of dollars. And you know what made it on that list? Ursa Mini 4.6. Definitely the cheapest camera on the list, but it makes the cut for Netflix and their requirements for shooting content for them, and I think that's awesome. So years later, I still think I made a good choice on that camera. And everybody asked me if I was going to ditch the 4.6 when the Pro came out. Nope. You know, they shoot the exact same way. So you know, you shoot an image with one and the other, put them side by side, tell me you can tell the difference. You can't. It's the exact same sensor, it's the exact same processing. Everything on the outside was just cosmetic. Not enough for me to switch. Let's see here. You also have the GH5. You love it, but you're without fighting the image is a lot different than Blackmagic. Not a sliding the. I'm not sure what you mean by that. The GH5 is great. I absolutely love it. Like I said, I've been using it a lot, and I do use it as a B cam for my Ursa Mini as well. And I got some LUTs that are pretty cool. You might want to check out. I did a LUT show last week. And last week we were talking about LUTs and some of my favorite ones, and Daniel Peters, if you go to danieljohnpeters.com, he makes some awesome LUTs. You do have to purchase them, but they're like £5. He's in England, but he has some for the GH5, and one is one that basically converts Vlog from the GH5 to Blackmagic film look. So that means then your log footage should match Blackmagic's log footage, you know, their BMD film, and then you can grade from there, and they should be close. I haven't really tried it, but it's cool that he did that, and he works extensively with both of those cameras, so I trust him to have put together some good stuff there. What do you recommend for cooking bofa? Oh my gosh, I just read ahead. Well, for cooking bofa, of what you were talking about, you probably wouldn't need anything nearly that big. You know, something very small, I think, would probably work for you there. Who said that? Manny Rosenberg. All right, well, Thank you for being the troll in the group. It wouldn't be a show on the internet if we didn't have someone making inappropriate comments in there. I'm not gonna read it out on the show, guys. You'll just have to imagine. But let's see here. You were just trying to say, Trevor here, if I plan a trip to Asia, I'd want a camera packing a little more punch than the GH5. Okay, so this is, this is personal preference. So yeah, maybe that EVA1 is the thing. If you already have the GH5 and you like it, it seems like a lot of the capabilities of the GH5 are going to be in that EVA1. I think they're even doing the same thing where, like, at release, it doesn't necessarily have all this stuff, but it's supposed to get more features in a planned firmware update, just like they did with the GH5. So maybe that EVA1 is it for you. I mean, it's not cheap. I mean, what are we talking, like $7,000 for it? So it's not cheap. Maybe like a Sony FS5. We use those at work to go alongside our FS7, and you can get them for like $5,000 now. The EVA1, Panasonic really scared Sony a bit, and they dropped the prices on all those by $1,000. And those are really good little capable cameras. The codec inside is not the greatest. It is really compressed. It's not real fun to grade. But, that's what you get for having a cheaper camera than the FS7. They built it right. They priced it right for what it is. But if you're looking for something small and compact, maybe the EVA1 or the FS5 would be something to look into. And, I'm not sure if you're looking at purchasing or if you're looking at renting. So, maybe just look at renting instead of purchasing. You don't need to own it. Unless you think that, all right, this camera is going to get a lot of use just beyond this trip. Sorry, guys, I'm checking my temp here. My iPad keeps going to sleep. Okay, we're still looking good. But yeah, renting is fantastic. Getting your hands on a camera, knowing how it works, because you can look at all the numbers and all the data sheets on B&H or News Shooter or wherever, but the numbers are really only half of the game. You really need to get the camera in your hands. You need to use it. You need to see how the workflow is. You need to see how quickly you can operate it. Sometimes even just like physically where the buttons are could just drive you insane. Like the Panasonic GH5, that little display button on the back that everybody kept hitting with like their thumb just when holding it, and then your screen turns off, which they now fix with a firmware update. You can lock that button so it doesn't do that. But that's not something that you would know by reading the B&H spec sheet. That's something that you would know from taking the camera out and using it. So renting is smart. It's basically like taking a car for a test drive, I mean, it really is, except you got to pay for it. But fully outfitted, the EVA1 will end up costing $9 to $10K. Makes my eyes water. Ooh, wow, really? I guess, is it a separate purchase to slap like a monitor and stuff on there? I know they did that with the C200 as well. Like, it's like one price for just the body, but you don't have any way of monitoring it and all that stuff, and so the attachment with the monitor and all that stuff is like an extra $1,500. So I'm not sure if they did that with the EVA1 too. I guess I really haven't seen that there's a display on it. So fully outfitted for $9,000. That's up there, man. I mean, that's more money than Ursa Mini. And Ursa Mini shoots RAW and ProRes and 4.6K and slow motion 1080 to 120 frames per second. It is bigger, it is heavier, it's a pain in the ass, so then you're, the scales may be tipping for you, but $9 grand. That's a good chunk of change. The display button was driving you nuts too. Yeah, the display button was driving everybody nuts. And the good thing about Panasonic is that they listen, and they took care of it. So that's a great thing. Now, one more thing that they did not listen to us for is that freaking fading of the screen. So the screen dims after like 30 seconds of inactivity, but it even does it while you're recording. So all of a sudden it gets dimmer and you're like, whoa, what just happened? but then if you touch anything, it brightens back up. It's like, man, just do away with that. Like, I'm fine. I got plenty of batteries. I don't need power saving. Just let me see everything at full brightness and stop freaking me out with the dimming. The other thing I want to see them tweak on the GH5 is actually the record marker on the screen is a little red circle like we're used to, but it blinks. Okay, and it blinks like 1 second on, 1 second off. Well, what happens to me is I always have it set up as a B camera, and inevitably I will just glance over to, you know, make sure everything's still working properly, and I seem to always look at it during that 1 second that it's blinked off. And so I have a mini panic attack because I think it's not recording. And then of course the red dot blinks again and I'm like, oh, okay, it's good. But for the love of God, Panasonic, please just make it a solid red dot. Solid red dot. I don't need it to blink. Just make it a solid red dot and save my poor heart. I eat enough barbecue and red meat and all sorts of stuff. I don't need anything else doing damage to my heart when I have these micro panic attacks every time I look at the back of my GH5 while it's recording. Trevor says, my #1 request for Panasonic is the option to remove all sharpening. It would really change the image to be closer to a big camera. Okay, so I know you can go in and you can reduce the stuff and make it sort of custom, but you can't turn it all the way off, I guess. Is it always doing some internal sharpening? Admittedly, I haven't really played with that very much and customizing that, so I'll have to take a look. That's interesting. But yeah, I always like to shoot where you take as much decision-making power away from the camera as possible. I'm a cinematographer. Let me make the choices. Let me handle how it's done. Let me make the changes in post, and especially stuff like sharpening. You can't remove that in post, but you can add it in post. So don't shoot with it on there. You know, if they change it so that you can reduce it to completely off, that'd be great, because that should be an option for the cameraman, for the cinematographer to decide if that's something that they want in their final image. So I'm gonna toss some stuff onto the fire real quick, guys. Hang out just 1 second, and I'll be right back with you guys. Hang on. Alright, I'm back. Man, being next to that firebox actually felt pretty good. It's getting a little chilly out here. That got a little cloudy. Let's see here. We got some more questions. Shiznuts, great name. I like it. I'd wish they'd give us a resolution between 1080p and 4K. Like there was a Blackmagic 2.5K, GoPro does 1440p, gets you higher frame rates than 4K, yet with flexibility of more resolution. Okay, that's interesting. So are you talking about the GH5 there, having something in between, like a 2K or 2.7K that like the GoPros did? The funny thing is, if you think about this, guys, 2K is basically the same thing as 1080p. And let me tell you why. So, we call it 1080p. It's 1080 pixels high and 1920 pixels across, right? So 1080, we're measuring it by its height. Then we get to 4K. 4K, all of a sudden we're measuring horizontally. We're measuring, what is it, 3840 for UHD, 3840 pixels, so it's like 4000 pixels across. But we're not, we used to refer to it this way. So 4K is actually like, or UHD at least, is actually 2160p. But if you think about 2K, if you're saying it's 2000 pixels across the top, if it's 2K measured horizontally, that's only 20 pixels bigger than 80 pixels bigger than 1920. So are you measuring 2K vertically? Because then that would be like double, but then you're almost at 4K. So no. Excuse me. So yeah, 2K and 1080 are pretty much the same resolution. Just something that's always kind of irks me a little bit. But yeah, that's interesting that you say that, you know, offering some different frame rates or some different resolutions that are a little bit lower than 4K that might give you the option to boost the frame rate a little bit. You're right. So, you know, the GH5 will do 180 frames per second in 1080. Well, maybe you could get like 90 frames per second in like a 2.7K or something like that. That's interesting. Never really thought of that. Never thought about being able to scale the resolution back to gain some frame rate. But it makes sense. I mean, you're divvying up the processing a little bit. I'm gonna go through a few more here, guys. We're starting to push about the hour mark. So I'm gonna go and tend to the bird a little bit more, but she's been sitting there just where I want. I like it. See here, Trevor says, Panasonic rep said, since it's a prosumer camera, they want the image to come out complete in a sense. Gotcha. That's right. They want the soccer moms to also be able to just shoot video and it comes out and it's pretty. So they do have a lot of things in there that are affecting your image. But, I mean, they still should have some advanced options in there, you're right, where you can opt to remove all of that. Now, granted, the soccer moms and the general consumer aren't going to know how to dig through that menu system to find these things to turn them off. They're not even going to know that they have an option to turn them off or what they are. So there we go. I'm getting an alert here, guys, that I have a very bad connection, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'm connected to my internet. What's going on? It's got to be a YouTube ad. So you can't turn off. Let's see here. Trevor, yes, it is. I absolutely love my Pocket because the image is amazing, and yeah, it's basically a 2K image. Yeah, there you go. The Pocket Cinema Camera is one that I always kick myself now that I didn't pick that thing up when it was half off. It was $500 at one point, and I know a lot of people snatched it up then. And now it immediately went back up to $1,000, and it's been $1,000 for years. This thing is not new. It's pretty long in the tooth. Granted, it's a good camera, but it's still $1,000. That's kind of crazy. I have seen some really good images off of that. I know it has usability quirks with battery, and at first you couldn't like format the cards in camera or delete clips. I don't know if that ever got fixed. But yeah, you know, decent camera. And you're right, that's something where it's technically just below 2K since it's shooting 1080. It's shooting 1080 RAW, so maybe if they updated one, we can get like a 2.5K RAW in a Pocket, you know, a Pocket V2. That would be awesome. I was really hoping this last NAB when I went to the Blackmagic press conference, because they do invite me to go to their press conference at the beginning of NAB to get the first look at all their stuff. And when I was checking it out, you know, I was really hoping that there would be a Pocket, because I was, again, I was really wanting a small portable B camera for my Ursa Mini, and who better to make one than the company that makes the Ursa Mini. But alas, they put all their focus into DaVinci, into some of their sound stuff, into some of their, you know, control boards and editing stuff, which was cool. Which is very cool. You know, that is a huge part of their company. That is what they do. So good on them. But who knows? Maybe we'll get a new one soon. All right, guys, so if you have any final comments or final questions, get them in right now. I'm starting to get a signal that says I have a very bad connection, so I'm sorry if stuff is breaking up on you guys, but I am about to wrap this show up. We've been hanging out for about an hour. My bird is now at 130 degrees, which is spot on. We're looking for 165 on that sucker. So we've gone about, let's see here, about 2.5 hours on it we've done. So yeah, I should be right on the mark. It should be about an hour more, and this puppy should be ready. So guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me and chatting and discussing various things. Hopefully some of this stuff was useful to you, but you know, today was just kind of a fun day hanging out. And so if you guys have any additional questions, please feel free to pop them in the comments below after this show is over and it lives on for eternity on my YouTube channel. And speaking of my YouTube channel, make sure that you guys are subscribed. If this is your first time here and finding me, I really appreciate it, but make sure that you click that subscribe button there and click the notification bell to make sure you get alerted every time that I go live or I post any other content. So I have this live show. This live show is every Saturday at 1 p.m. But next week, guys, we are not going to have a live show. We have the Thanksgiving holiday this week. I'll be in Milwaukee, and then I'm actually flying to Boston for some work stuff. So I am not going to have time to do the show next week, but we will pick up after, so when we get into December. So December 2nd, I will have another live show. So look out for that, Saturday, December 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And what are we talking about in that one? Oh, I believe we're going to be talking about hard drives and backing up and storing your data, redundancies, RAIDs, all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about how I do it and how I protect all my footage and my data, and how you guys might go about doing that as well. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get this bird finished up, guys. You guys, if you're in the United States, have a great Thanksgiving holiday. I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys in the next one.